not black or white. It's not black or white. It's not black or white. It's not black or white. With Tim Stevenson and Diane Blakely. Not black or white. It's not black or white with Tim Stevenson and Diane Blakely.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of It's Not Black or White. We are your hosts, Tim Stevenson
and Diane Blakely.
And we have a special guest today. Miss Adina is here with us. Say hi. Say hi. Hello. And we're going to talk about something that the world talks about a lot. It's a beast. It's a, I don't know what you're going to call it, a devil, right?
Yeah.
We call it a devil.
We call it the C word.
We call it the C word. Yeah, that's right. Cancer.
Yeah. But we're not going to just talk about cancer. We're going to talk about different ways and different approaches, because what I've learned is that not one body is the same. So
Truly.
There seems to be this really weird approach to oncology where we're going to treat everyone the same, even though everybody has a different experience. They've been exposed to different things. They still look at you like a number. And I think while I really believe in modern medicine, I still think that's the wrong kind of approach. I think there needs to be a dual prong approach to medicine, like looking at people as individuals, applying the modern medicine, and maybe some more holistic things, and maybe go back to food is medicine, because I think there's a big mistake there in how we're doing our food, and we'll get into that later. But I could go for hours about food and how I think that people overlook the medicinal benefits of food. But I thought we would start today and let you talk a little bit about your experience with the Big C, and maybe talk a little bit about I'm curious to have you talk about the experience, what prompted you to know that something was wrong, because everyone's different that way. Yeah. And then maybe just tell us a little bit about what kind of cancer you had, and then maybe some of the approaches, the way that you chose to approach it, both from modern medicine and maybe holistically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So tell us from the beginning.
I know. Jump right in.
Going all the way back.
Well, first of all, let's just start off by saying she's an 8-year survivor.
Yes, it's been 8 years.
Wow.
And part of chemo is memory loss. So I'm just
so if
I don't want to remember something, I just say, I have a chemo brain. I don't want to remember that. But, it is one of the side effects.
No, that's a good side. That's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to try to forget about.
Yeah, exactly.
So take us back to, I guess, the beginning, the day you were diagnosed.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I think it was more about symptoms and trying to figure out what was wrong. So there's right now, women are told they should be getting mammograms at 40 years old. So I had not had my first mammogram yet, and when this was all happening, but I'm in a high stress job, and I would kind of be working these stressful events, and I would get a day later arm tingling up my arm and into my face, and it would only happen on the right side. And so they would always think well, is she having a stroke? Am I going to pass out? Am I, what's wrong? Is it neurological? Do I have epilepsy? So basically when this was first happening, I was just trying to figure out, if it was triggered from dehydration or stress or standing too long or being in the sun or what was happening. So went to a neurologist first, actually, and they were kind of studying what was from the neck up. So I had all the probes and the MRIs.
Did you do the scan, the MRIs and the tube and stuff?
Did all of that. Yeah. And my friend was actually the neurologist, and she's and I'm very claustrophobic. So she's like, come look at the machine. You're going to be fine. And I was like,
I've seen that machine.
I don't know if she's like, it's a donut. And I was thinking I love donuts. Maybe this I might
You've been inside of a donut.
Yeah. I've been inside of one.
Yeah.
It's different. I'm maybe I like the holes better.
Yeah.
But yeah, and going there and doing all of that, and then just coming up negative, nothing was, so they did the whole probe thing and so did that, nothing wrong. And then I did have really bad monthly stuff. As women, as we're getting older, I just again thought it was I'm just getting older. It's a different stage in my life. Maybe this is something that is just,
Were you getting any joint pain or any of that stuff, or it was just the tingling?
I was inflamed. Like
Really?
I would
So
be,
you're
and
like-
I would have really, really bad periods monthly.
Oh, wow.
So really bad. And I never really had them that bad before. And it was happening, where it was just, I couldn't work for like 4 days straight. Like it
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
like 1 day down or 2 day down.
You're
It was
like, wow,
straight
well, this
4 days. Yeah.
Perimenopause is brutal.
So, yeah. And it was like, wiped out, no energy, no life. And I'm kind of a trooper. I came from a family of 4 boys, it was
Are
just
you
like
the only girl?
the only girl.
Oh,
and
wow.
it was like,
Okay.
you just, you scrape your knee, you get up, you're good. It was just, there's no time for that. So when I went to the gynecologist, same thing. They were just checking everything from the waist down, and the other doctor was checking everything from the neck up, and nobody's checking like
In this
in
middle,
Oh, in the middle.
part, the
So-
most important part.
Right.
Yeah, and it wasn't until my first mammogram, and actually, I kind of was feeling a little something on the right side. I will say that, but it ended up being the very point of the tumor.
Really?
So
Could
it
you
kind of
feel
felt
it
like
in
an
your
eraser,
armpit?
like the top of a. No, it was on my breast.
It was?
But it was only when I would like sleep on my right side and it would pinch. And I was like, God, what is that? What is
Oh,
that?
so
And it
yours
would-
was like more
it was
near your
painful.
your interior lymph node, like
Yeah.
more to the side.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
but yeah, so what I was feeling was like the very tip of the tumor. So,
So
it
like
was
9 o'clock. Do you know that's how they say? Because they were
Oh,
like,
yeah,
with
they
mine,
do
they're
the
like,
whole
oh,
checking.
you got 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And you're
Yeah.
like, what? I didn't
Yeah.
realize that but that's how they identify where the
Mhm.
tumor is.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
they talk about it in numbers. They're like, oh, 12. And the way I found out is that plastic surgeon said that to me.
Really?
He's like, yeah, you have a tumor at 12 o'clock and a precancerous cell at 1 o'clock. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that was the first time I realized. I know. You're like, I'm now looking at this
3
part of my
o'clock,
body
6
like a
o'clock.
clock.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
So-
Well, and even when they did kind of some of the, to kind of see exactly where the cancer cells were, they're shooting that. We talked about that basically medicine
Mhm.
that it looks like if
They
you've
give
seen
you
Men
a
in Black, and
radioactive
Oh.
they
isotope.
bring
Oh,
in
really?
a briefcase and it
Yeah.
opens. It's like,
Yeah, and
and
it's dangerous, and you have to
Doesn't
sign
sound
off.
good to me.
Your surgeon
Yes.
has to sign off on it. Your nurse has to sign off on it,
and you're
and you
waiting
have to
for it
sign
in the
off on
room.
it.
Like, what am I
Really?
waiting for exactly?
Yeah, it's
You
like
know?
they're gonna like shoot me up with some crazy like poison.
Yeah, and then it like lights up the cancer cells so they
Mhm.
know where to cut and remove, like
Mhm.
before you go in for the surgery.
Yep.
Wow.
But when they administer it, they go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock,
Yep.
6 o'clock,
Really?
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most painful things. It was not
Yes,
fun,
it's
and
not
I'm like,
fun.
you're only giving me that spray stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
I know they
why?
poke you and they give you a numbing spray, like that's gonna help you, and then they shove these
The
big old
needles are
needles like this,
huge.
and you're like,
Yeah.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
was,
it's
that
really-
was one thing I would have loved to have forgotten. But
yeah,
no, that was
I have a needle issue because of that, and they put like all these metal seeds inside you too. It's like
Jesus.
when they give you you get poked, prodded, and then they're cutting flesh out for biopsies and stuff, and then they want to remember where the actual tumor
They
is, so
wanna
they
test
insert a
you.
little teeny piece of metal. So I'm sure you have one. I still have one. They don't take it out. You get to
Really?
wear it for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good though, because when they go back to look at mammograms and stuff, they can see where the tumor used to be. There's a piece of metal there.
Wow.
Like the marker. They call them markers. I don't know. Did you have that kind of marker? So people get
I-
different kinds of markers.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember the marker part. There was things that like stand out to me, and then things were kind of more of a blur. But the mammogram, it was when I went and did that. It was supposed to be, oh, okay, this is just routine. So I didn't think anything was going to be wrong with me. My mom had cystic
Oh.
breasts. So I just thought, oh, I probably have
a
like a little
cyst.
cyst. It's not going to be a big deal. So my
Oh,
whole
wow.
thing was like, I never thought I was going to get that diagnosis. And it was before my 40th birthday.
Were you with your mom? Or were you by yourself?
So when I went to the mammogram, my husband was in the waiting room, and then when they were like, "Oh, we like nothing, you don't get results right away." I don't know how yours was, but I felt like I was waiting decades to get stuff back, and then when you
Oh.
get it back, it was always like dun dun dun,
Oh, they made you wait?
So they made me wait so after I got the mammogram, when they told me that I need a biopsy, that's when I kind of started getting scared. So I was like, well, why, if you have this like state of the art equipment, can
Yeah.
see all this
and
stuff,
they can't see it all. That's
why
the
is
Right.
it that you
Yeah.
have to go in and like take a little cutout,
Yeah.
and when they say biopsy, your brain is like, I'm gonna go with the knife and like, but they have the little things that are.
Did you have the gun thing?
The gun where it sounds like
goes,
poppers.
cuckoo.
It sounds like
They,
someone's
like,
hitting you
warn
with
you.
a cat, like
It sounds like a
BB
nail gun.
Yeah.
It's all cuckoo, cuckoo,
yeah,
like that, and you're all, oh.
yeah.
And they
Mine's
warn
like
you.
rubber bands snapping.
Yep,
like
yep. It sounds like
yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
probably a better
It was
accurate
just-
description of it.
So they did that, and then I was like, okay, and I still, again, it just wasn't really for me. And I think it was because I just didn't think that was going to be me, and then it was when they didn't want to tell me over the phone what the biopsy was.
So they handled you totally different than me. You know what happened to me? I went to I went to have my mammogram done. They called me the next day. They're all, we see something suspicious on the right side. So of course I go like this. I'm all, and I could feel it. And I was freaked. I was like, okay, there's something there.
Right.
And my sister had a bunch of cysts and stuff, kind of like your mom.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was probably a cyst. So I went by myself and I drove to their imaging center at Hogue in Irvine. And I was there, and this real sweet girl was talking to me, and she was the assistant to the radiologist. And she's, oh, you're funny, and we're laughing, and la 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 la. You know what you do when your top is off and somebody's like squishing it and putting all this junk on you. And then I had looked at what does cancer look like on an ultrasound before I went. So they had the machine slightly turned towards me, and the radiologist is clicking, and she's looking, and I go, oh my God, I have cancer. Because I could see it. It looked like a flying squirrel. It's like all jagged and weird, like that. And I was like, oh my God, it looked like the shape I'd seen on the internet.
Wow.
And
You're
she
too smart for your own good.
I know. So then she said to me, well, since you seem to know, yes, you do. And I proceeded to unwind in a way I cannot even explain because I was super calm. The poor little girl that was the assistant started to cry. Must have been her first day or something. And she's like, I made friends with her and now she's going to die. So she started crying and I was like, oh, I'm like wiping the stuff off with the towel. And I go, well, that's a bummer, And I got up without my shirt on, like walked out into the middle of the room before I could get to the changing room. And I just started to shake profusely, and my good friend Troy called me and I answered his call. Was driving a rental car, no gas in it, and I had no charger, so my battery was red. And I answered the phone. I go, Troy, I can't talk to you. I have cancer, and my battery's gonna die.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I said. I needed to then. Could you imagine?
Wow.
He's all like, what?
He's like, what?
This is someone I've known since I was 15.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the hell? He's like calling me back, and I'm crying. I'm all, does anyone have a charger for an iPhone 15? Because everyone's giving me like 14 version chargers and it wouldn't work. So I finally got a charger and I called my husband, and my husband like drove down. He's like, I'm gonna come right now. I'm coming right now. And he was like 40 minutes away. And he got there, and I was circling the parking lot, and this guy had been eating a sandwich in his white Corolla. I still remember. And he's like watching me. And then finally gets out of the car, and he's like, I'm crying. He's like, do you need a hug? And he like tries to hug me as my husband's walking. I'm like, that's my husband. I don't need a hug. It's okay.
Oh my God.
Wow.
She handled it a lot differently.
Yeah.
You handled it a lot differently.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get reactions.
Oh, I'm sure they
across
do.
the board.
Yeah, like where people just flip right there. But I was like, well, that's a bummer. And then all of a sudden, I think it like dawned on me.
Registered.
It just hit.
And then I just can't wait to get it out. I'll cut it out.
Yeah.
Get it out.
That was me too. But it was, I think it wasn't until they took me into the room when they called me back, and the room was full of tissue boxes. And I was like, why is there so many tissue boxes in this room? Because people
about
are
to cry a river.
Right.
Yeah, and I remember having a really empathetic woman that was a nurse tell me what was going on. And
did they tell you by yourself, or was your husband already with you? He was.
And what's weird is I want to say he was there, but it was, one of those, I don't want to say out of body experiences, but when it's like you're hearing something and it's happening and it's like you're underwater and it's like,
it's like the Charlie Brown stuff.
Exactly. So that was happening.
Right.
That was happening. I just kind of checked out. I was like, There was way too many tissue boxes. Whatever she's saying, she's talking to someone else. There's no way that's me. Like maybe they're,
Wow.
so I want to say like initially was denial. It was like, okay. And then I got very business-like and was like, okay, so how long does this take? Like, what
do I do next?
What are we doing? Like, so what happens? Are you cutting it out? Like, are kind of like you? I want it out. Are we doing this today? Like, what's happening? And she's like, oh no, they'll talk to you about your, like, the procedure. She gives me this packet. I'm like, like, I don't want to see I want like someone to tell me right now what we're doing. Like, what's the plan?
Funny.
I'm not coming back another month.
Right.
Like, I want to know.
That's exactly how I acted. And I went, when's the first surgery?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was like. They're like, well, we
same
have
thing.
to determine what kind of cancer you have. I said, well, whatever kind it is, I don't want it in here. So I want to know if you're going to cut that thing out and when. And they didn't even want it, like, the because they had to do the actual biopsy after that. Radiologist looked at me and I was like, I need to go. I need to get it out right now. In fact, when the guy was biopsying, it was a young guy. He looked like Miles Teller from Top Gun. I was like, I'm like, really? Why do I have to have the Top Gun dude doing this? But I was the weirdo patient. I was like, I'm going to wear this really low cut shirt tomorrow. And I would like to make sure you don't bruise me. Can you go this direction?
Oh
They moved the whole thing around for me so that they could cut it from a different direction.
Yeah.
Which, I'm the only stupid person that would probably think that. No, I'm not. Let's be serious. It was Newport. Tons of people would be doing that. But so they moved it around and he was afraid. He kept wanting to take more and more. And I was like, are you trying to cut it out? Like right now? Because I was all about that. Just get it out.
Yeah.
And then I started to feel it and he stopped because he's like, okay, whatever I numbed you with is wearing off, but I would have powered through to get it at the rest. But I'm glad he didn't because then I could have him test my tumor block more. If I didn't have the specimen, I wouldn't have been able to figure out all that Ki-67 stuff. But anyway, let's get back to you. And so after you found out, right, you're having the out-of-body experience, what did they do next, or what did you do next? Did they automatically say, okay, we're going to schedule you for a biopsy?
I mean, they were like, we're referring you to an oncologist. You're in, and like they did kind of explain a little bit of a procedure. I mean, I had to have a port put in to my clavicle, which basically then it actually really happened quickly.
Why did they give you a port? Is it for the chemo?
For the chemo.
So did they identify that you had lymph node involvement immediately or something? Because that sounds really quick. They didn't do any of that.
They told me my stage when I was in the tissue room.
So what was? Oh, really?
Yeah, they told. I was very like, okay, so what I have, we can just cut it out, right? And they're like, well, actually, we can't just cut it out because it's gone elsewhere.
So when they did your scan, could they already see it was in the lymph nodes in the scan? Because I know they were going crazy.
So the mammogram, well, I think so because when they were doing the biopsies, they were doing it in my armpit too. And I wasn't really, and again, I wasn't understanding why they were doing it in other places. I'm like, well, why are they doing it there too? And why are they, so they definitely were doing it in other places. And I thought, and they were so just kind of lax about it, which is probably a good thing because I probably would have been freaking out in those moments. They're just like, oh, this is normal procedure, kind of situation. But then looking back, I was like, I'm kind of glad I was oblivious to some of it.
What stage did they tell you had?
I was 3.
So it was 3.
Yeah,
I thought it was
3,
once you told me about the lymph node involvement.
Yeah. So, and it went into the lymph node. So then that's basically I did the same thing you did. Like, I want it out. I want it cut out. Like, can we cut it out? And then I did the whole, well, I'm not listening to this doctor because they're going to do chemo first and they won't just take the tumor out. And then I had a friend that was, a friend that was connected at City of Hope. I went to go see a specialist there, gave the same answer. Then another person.
City of Hope is really good.
Opinion.
So I got a second and a third opinion, Tim. I didn't just stop there because I was like, I didn't have the answer I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear you're going to cut it out right now.
Right.
We're good.
So I
moving
noticed
on.
they do that.
They didn't give me the answer I wanted.
I noticed they do that when you're in stage 3. And even stage 2, if it's like cruised to your lymphatic system, they're like, they want to try to chemo you first to stop the growth of the tumor and the spread. That's what they're trying to do.
Absolutely. They're trying to shrink it.
They're trying to shrink it. Yeah.
Shrink it.
That's what I've learned over time. Like for me, mine was encapsulated in my milk duct, so it hadn't gone anywhere. And they were like super happy. They're like doing little doodles on paper for me. This is your tumor. I'm all like, where is it? Is it kind of looking over like Wilson from Tim the Tool Time Taylor?
And it's so funny that these things can be funny now. You know, like for you, it's very fresh still. I mean, I must say you have a very good personality and a good humor about it. But the whole thing, when you're in it, you're like, I'm gonna die. Like you can't sleep. You're like, I was 20 writing your will. You know, like you're doing all these things. Like, you know, it's like telling someone they're gonna die. I mean, think about what goes through your head. And
I know, and they should never tell people that. This is, and I want the audience to hear this because I think cancer's super scary and it's super unpredictable. And even the doctors don't know what person's going to live or die. They don't know. Right. And I have a lot of respect for oncologists because to me, it seems like the worst possible medical job you could ever have because you have freaked out patients. Like freaked out at a 10, right?
Yeah. I don't know why they'd want to do that.
No, it's a depressing thing because then you've got to watch people get sick and it's all in an attempt to keep people alive, right?
Keep them alive. It's the opposite.
Right, you know, but they don't tell you, like, don't worry, we've had enough advances in medical technology that you can get cured from it. You can go into remission. You're not going to die tomorrow. Like my husband always goes, like, I told him, I'm like, some of this stuff is not funny, folks, but it is funny when you think about it. But I remember telling my husband, we were at SoFi Stadium and I started to cry. And he's like, why are you crying? We're going to a football game. This should be happy. And I'm like, I'm crying because I'm jealous. And he's like, and I said, I never was jealous of anyone before in my life. I always celebrate, like when somebody looks really good, I'm like, good for you. Really strong, good for you. Better dancer, good for you. You know, like all those things. And I said, I'm jealous of all the people laughing. Because they get to live and now I don't get to do that. And that was the wrong thing to say to myself. So anybody who gets this cancer and hears this, don't say those things to yourself because I am still here. I wake up every morning and I go, well, I'll be damned. I am still alive.
I'm still here.
I'm still here.
They try to take me out. I'm still
to get me.
Wow.
Yeah, you know. It's a weird thing, right?
It's just so weird. It was so weird. So it was port install, which was a surgery. And then I thought, I'm going to recover from that. They're going to let me kind of do that for a couple days. No, they want to administer the chemo right away. Like you guys, I felt like I was just out of surgery. And it was like 2 days later, they're like, and they're going right to that area that you just, you know, and it's sensitive. It's like in a weird.
Did you do the mastectomy before or after the chemo?
How does that work? After, because you have to shrink everything.
Okay.
And then so when you shrink it, then they do the tumor removal first and the lymph node removal, then the double mastectomy.
Okay, so where was the chemo inserted?
Chemo was before.
So before all of your lymph node removal too?
They want to shrink everything. They want to kill everything. As a matter of fact, when I was doing the chemo, there was one medication I had to stop using because it was literally, I felt like it was killing me. Like, no joke.
Do you remember what it was?
I don't remember which one it was, but it was very strong.
It wasn't Taxotil, was it? Or was it the Red Devil? Did they give you Red Devil?
That sounds scary.
ADC, it's called Red Devil. ADC, it's they give it for they generally give it to people before they do mastectomy if it's entered your lymph nodes. Like Courtney Benson, hello. She's just a girl with cancer. I follow her. She's really amazing. And she had pain in her chest and then kind of ignored it. She actively tells people she kind of ignored it because she's really busy. She's a very popular real estate agent in Texas. And she it ended up being in her lymphatic system, and they did exactly what they did with you. They're like, chemo first, we're going to shrink your tumor. But they did Red Devil with her, and it grew her tumor. It made her tumor get
Why do
bigger.
they call it red devil?
Yeah, I wonder why.
Because
It
it's
doesn't sound like
actually
anything I've
red.
signed
Yeah,
up
so
for.
Because
we're gonna give you red devil.
I don't think I
You know what I
have.
mean?
there's
I don't
a,
think I have
I think
that.
it's
Yeah.
called ADC. I think that's the name. I might be getting that wrong,
Yeah.
folks. But I think that's the acronym for it. But they call it red devil. Patients call it that because the actual chemo is red. The color of
Oh,
it's red,
interesting. Hmm.
and it burns when you administer it.
So it's the
not.
devil.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
it's
you're in
not
hell.
fun. I have a
Oh, geez.
friend named Julie who did it. She had breast cancer, but she had something really unusual. She had melanoma in her breast tissue,
Oh,
which
wow.
is like unheard of.
Yeah.
And she did red devil, but she was a baller, and she said she went through it and stuff. But so here I'm all crying about my stuff, my early stage carcinoma, but it's because they wanted to chemo me, but I didn't do it.
Not black or white. It's not black or white with Tim Stevenson and Diane Blakely.